as another one.
No, I blocked some time out after this call. I'm like, I need like a 45-minute breather to catch up.
Gotta like wrap your breath around, right?
Yes. I usually try to block out like time in between calls, but if somebody only has a certain time, I put them there. It's my own fault.
You're nice. You are very nice. So we're so excited to have you here, and just I'm excited what you have to say. It's always fun to listen to somebody different other than ourselves, especially a corporate mentor who can kind of see the whole picture. I feel like when we're in it, we're just in it and we can just see like what's in front of us. But I feel like you can kind of see what else we might be missing, or things that we could add or take away from our businesses to help us be more effective and all of that fun stuff. So I will just let you take it away. You can introduce yourself a little bit more if you'd like,
Okay.
or just jump into the meat of the call, whichever. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks you guys so much for having me. I'm so pumped to be here. I love working with coaches. I love meeting new coaches and hearing a little bit about you and where you are in your business and where you came from. I have been with Beachbody since 2013. So I've been here a while, and I love our mission statement. I love what we have to offer people. I love that we can change people's lives for the long haul and help people get out of old patterns. And I love that you guys are in the forefront doing this very important work. And I love the direction that our company is going. And I'm so excited for all the things that are happening, especially with Sure Thing, ending this year on a very high note with a new program that is the sure thing to get people results that they've been looking for across all aspects of their wellness. And so just quickly put in the chat, I just kind of want to know kind of where you guys are, how long you've been a coach, maybe kind of what program brought you in or what got you started, if you came in as a challenger or not. And I kind of want to start with kind of maybe figuring out if this is where you guys are today, as I'm seeing this happen over and over again with coaches who are, some are having success, some are still struggling. And so when you came into the business, you probably came into the business and you were so excited to have something that you could do for yourself because you were wearing other hats where you were a mom, a wife, maybe you're a teacher, you had another corporate job, and you were just didn't have anything for yourself. And so did you come into Beachbody and now you had something that was for you, something that you could be like, oh my gosh, this is an outlet for me, finally something that I can take care of myself, have joy, have happiness, and I feel on top of the world. Do you feel like that's kind of part of what brought you into Beachbody, or am I way off base? And you guys can unmute yourself and answer.
For me, it's I came in for the money. I was a personal trainer and I was stuck working as many hours as I possibly could. And I was tired of taking my kids to daycare, and I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And I knew that I could only get paid when I was at the gym, right? There was no PTO, sick leave. And so like my daughter's homesick today and she has been all week, and I can still work and I can still earn money and I can still do all of that while I'm taking care of her. I can still be a good mom and I can still contribute to our income, where before I had to choose which one would it be. So
love that. Love, love, love that. Anybody else? Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit further into this question to see if this is kind of where you are. Do you feel like if you came in, like Erin said, it was something that you could be driven and earn an income, but it was along the same lines of things that she was doing outside of the home. So it was still filling her bucket of passion and helping people and seeing those people have success. And so whether or not that's why you came in, do you find now, are you feeling like this is just another hat that you have to wear, and it's another thing that you have to do, and now it's a job and I need an outlet for myself that is going to bring joy and happiness? And while Beachbody does bring me joy and happiness, it's still work. Are you guys there, or are you making sure that you're doing something fun every single day for yourself planning it, putting it on the calendar so that you can have a joy-filled life every single day, and not just when you meet certain milestones, not just when you hit certain goals, so that you can enjoy the journey, because it's the enjoyment of the journey that is going to, that you're living life to its fullest. And so I find that often as moms, as women, we get very, narrow in our vision because we have to get tasks done. But then we forget that we're supposed to be living during this time. We forget that we're supposed to be making sure that we do something for ourselves outside of our working business. Yes, Beachbody can bring us joy and happiness, but it's still our job and it's still work, and we get to do it every day. But I need something else in my life to bring me joy and happiness, because this is still work. And so there's a quote that I love that is like, the man who is focused on the journey will walk farther than the man who is focused on the destination. And so I feel that that really is Beachbody business at its core. If you're focused on the journey and loving every single minute of it, then you're going to go farther. You're going to build your business. It's going to be sustainable. It's going to be solid, versus focusing on the end result or focus on the destination. You're not going to go as far, because you're going to get to that destination and you missed all the awesomeness that happened in between because you weren't paying attention. And so I want you to think about that when you're showing up for work. If you don't have that joy and happiness, if you're not looking forward to getting up and working, if you're waking up and going, oh, I have to do this, or I have to make sure I send these out, like, let's take a step back and figure out, how can I bring the joy and happiness back into my work? What do I need to change so that I can wake up and love reaching out and talking to people, connecting with people, and providing a service for them so that they can change their lives? Because you guys all know that business is 100% relationships. People are not signing up with you because they need a system. Your coaches don't need systems. They don't need scripts. They need you to believe in them. And they need you to show them that they can accomplish anything that they want to, and that they not only can accomplish it, but they can love the journey of working on that accomplishment, instead of just grinding, and then getting to the destination and being unfulfilled because they didn't learn how to love the process. They didn't learn how to love themselves during all of that. So am I kind of on the right track of maybe how you could have gotten off track a little bit, and maybe there is something that you're missing that's not bringing you joy and happiness in your business? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah.
I can go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I could definitely speak to what you're talking about. So I've been a coach for over 8.5 years, so I've been here almost as long as you. But there have been years of my business where every spare minute I was like, okay, Beachbody. Like, oh, I have a minute, okay, Beachbody. So it was like constantly do all the other things around, but Beachbody was any spare minute I could get, right? And so I wouldn't let myself, I love to read. So I wouldn't let myself read a fiction novel unless I'd hit Success Club 10. I hit Success Club 10, then I get a day off and I get to read. But it was like hustle so much of the time. And then even when I wasn't working, I was thinking about things I could post on social media or whatever. So it really, really took over my life. And I really got so burnt out at the first of this year, to the point where it was causing health issues. So I really had to find this balance. And one thing that really helped me, and I know is kind of an outside circumstance, but my last kid went to preschool 4 days a week, 2 hours. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to work while he's at school. And that's it. Like, because Beachbody is something you can work 24 freaking 7. Like, you can always be on social media doing more. And when I set those boundaries around, no, I'm going to work this 8 hours a week. And then if I want to do a little bonus work, that's fine. But these 2 hours are going to be enough. And I'm going to go be a human, and I'm going to go live the life that's right in front of me instead of being constantly on social media. So I think with a job like this, that is something you have to be really careful to build boundaries around. So I know we're always taught to like set business hours, but I feel like as moms, sometimes we're always trying to do it in the mom cracks. And that just means we're working all day long and not really getting a lot done, because there's something about getting into a zone during a power hour like it takes me like 3 or 4 invites to really like find my groove and like get to that point where I can just bust them out, you know? And so I think working all day long it's so easy to burn out on. And also if you're denying yourself like extracurricular stuff because Beachbody just has to take over every spare minute, that's also like kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was going to be one of my challenges to everyone on this call is if this is speaking to you, and if you're not currently doing this, I know that people talk about office hours, but I get granular. What are you specifically doing from 9 to 9:10 of this 9 to 9:30 block that you have? Put it on your calendar. So when you show up at 9 o'clock, you know exactly what it is you're going to do. You're going to get to work. You're going to set your timer. You're going to get it done. And you're not thinking about it all day long because you already put it on your calendar so that you can be a human and live and have joy and enjoy the journey. Show up for work. Look at your calendar that you created on Sunday or Saturday or Monday, whatever day you decided to plan out your calendar week. Then you just have to show up. And then you set your timer and you do the same things that are on your calendar. And then you're not scrolling social media. You're not thinking about what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do this afternoon. Oh, I got to do this and I got to do that, which that's going to occupy your mind 24/7. And you're going to be feeling like you're working all the time when in fact you're not working, but it's taking your life away from you because your mind is constantly preoccupied. So set those office hours. If they are in the cracks of the day, you can still be prescriptive and say, I'm going to do invites from 12:15 to 12:25. And then from 12:25 to 12:35, I'm going to make sure I'm going in and checking in my group and seeing how my challengers are doing. And then if I'm going to go to work at 2 o'clock, then I'm going to make sure that I'm going out and getting my reel created, making connections with people who've been following me, all those kinds of things so that you can just show up to do your work and then you can clock out and be done and you don't have to think about it. And so it's a little bit of planning on the front end, but taking an hour of planning out your week is going to free up hours for you every single day, hours of time to do what you love, the things you want to do, the things you've been missing out on, and hours for your mind to not be preoccupied with this business. And it's kind of like, if you owned a brick and mortar store, they have set hours that they're open and people know when you're open. They can come to the store during those hours and purchase things from you. And no store that you know of besides the 24-hour convenience stores are open all the time. And you don't want people to think that they have to be available all the time. Nobody's going to want to sign up as a coach if it looks like you have to work 24/7. Nobody's going to want to do that. So you got to make sure you're not portraying that that's what is necessary to get this job done. And they need to respect, hey, I'm only going to be able to talk to her for these hours. And I know this is when I can get a hold of her. So I'm going to message her then. And I'm thinking of it now, but I know it's going to take her a couple of hours to get back to me because she's not going to show up until this time. And if it varies throughout the day, that's okay. They're going to get into a pattern of seeing that you're consistently showing up at the similar times each day of the week, which is going to showcase that this is something they want to do. Because if you showcase that you're always on and that you're busy, nobody wants to sign up for busy. Nobody wants to sign up to work 24/7. My other thing is, how are you sharing about the business opportunity? I know that this is a big struggle for a lot of coaches because you're like, I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to do this. And I don't want to talk about income. But just like Erin said, the opportunity that this has provided for her is that she can show up at home with her sick child and she didn't have to choose to cancel her classes at the gym, miss out on income to stay home, or she could leave her child with a babysitter who's sick because she needed to go to that income. What is working right now for coaches is sharing that. Sharing the business opportunity has provided this time and this flexibility and this freedom to do whatever it is that you're enjoying that you couldn't enjoy if you didn't have your Beachbody business. Now, and not just making it about money and not making it about wellness all the time. Yeah, you need to talk about those things. But what really resonates with people is they want more time and freedom and flexibility to do the things that they want to do to live. And they're not in the grind and the hustle 9 to 5. And so really getting those business hours set, working in prescriptive with those times, and then showing up during those times and sharing all the things that Beachbody has done for you in the form of the business opportunity with the things that you're able to experience and love, sharing that real time, making sure that you're doing that a couple of times, at least once a day in your stories, at least a few times a week in your stories, maybe making a reel about it to drive people to your page where they can then see it, can go a long way. And I know coaches are seeing a lot of success. I have been talking to coaches who were struggling to find new coaches. They were struggling to find good coaches. And the only thing that's changed for them is how they decided to show up. In the past, they were like talking with people and they had all these excuses and they were in victim mindsets and they spent the whole time trying to change their mind and the whole time just being like, oh, I really got to have you on my team. And they flipped the script and they were like, I need to show up. I need to see where they are. And I need to ask more questions. They're like, I just don't know if I can really afford it. It's like, okay, what amount of money is your health and wellness worth to you? Is there a set dollar amount? What amount of time is your health and wellness to you? Is there a set time? How much time do you have to devote to yourself in creating a healthier wellness for you? Do you have a set amount of money that you can put aside every month? And not discounting, if you can't sell them a total solution pack, we all know that's the best deal. But if somebody says, I can't do the total solution pack, ask more questions. Okay, so I know you had X, Y, and Z goals that you wanted to make. Let's get you started with maybe, taking some Energize to give you more energy in the afternoon so that you can get the things done that you need to because you're out of time, or you need some snacks. What about the beach bars? Or you are worried about your skin because you are aging, or you don't want to. How about the collagen or the greens boost? We have a library, a catalog of things that you can still offer people to get started on their health and wellness journey if they can't do the total solution pack. And while the total solution pack is going to give you Success Club points, don't discount the fact that they might want to start with something else, because now you're going to have that customer that's you're working with, that they're starting out on something and you never know what's going to boost them to join you in the long run. That will give you those Success Club points and will give you maybe some working coaches out of that, because you didn't just discount them because they said no to the total solution pack. So don't forget about the catalog of things that we have to offer, but most importantly, showing up in those conversations authentically, really concerned, listening to understand instead of pushing to explain and tell them what's going to work, helping them understand how this is going to fit into their lives and how it can work so that they can choose to do this. Because I don't know about you, but I hate it when people tell me the things I need to do. If they tell you, if you just worked out for this long, every single day, these results would happen. I'm like, don't tell me what to do. I don't want to be told what to do. But if somebody comes to me and they're like, okay, what is it that you're looking to achieve? What worked for you in the past? Why do you think you failed? And I'm listening and I'm taking in all these things. And then I say, so what would it look like if you were to sign up with me and we could get you on a program where you worked out for 20 minutes, because that's all the time you have. But I can offer you some support with like-minded people. I can check in with you every single day. If you are missing that accountability, what would that look like? Or what is it that you need from somebody to help you continue? Asking what they need in advance so that they can tell you. Maybe they don't even know what they need, right? Then you can offer those different kinds of solutions and say, what would it look like? Asking open-ended questions and really not asking yes or no questions. Even if you're invited to a challenge group or a coach mentoring or learn about coaching, give them 2 different dates to choose from instead of saying, does the 13th work? Hey, I have a meeting or a challenge group starting on the 2nd of January, and I have another one starting on the 16th. Which date is going to be best for you? When can we get you started? And not giving those yes or no definitive answers, because it's really hard to come back after somebody says no. But if you ask an open-ended question, then they get a chance to explain their situation. You get a chance to listen and authentically care. Think about it. When you go out into the world and you're talking to people and people ask you how you're doing, they're always the people that you see every day at the grocery store or every week at the grocery store, the bank teller, anywhere you go, and people are like, hi, how are you? Right? That happens all the time. Do they really want to know the answer to how are you? Most of the time, they're just being nice, right? So I don't want you to be nice. I want you to be kind. And the difference is a kind person, when you go out and you're happy or whatever, and you just want to leave people in a better spot, and you ask, how are you doing? Really mean it. Really want to know. When the checker says, I'm having an awesome day, then you say, oh my gosh, tell me what's so awesome about it. I'd love to know. Just that second question. Or if they're having a horrible day, be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. What's happening? You know, what happened today? Or why is it such a horrible day? And then that spurs an authentic conversation. You really are showing up as you're caring. And the more you do it, the more you're going to care and the more you're going to want to do it, because it is a game changer for building relationships across the board. Whether they end up wanting to come work with you, you become a better person because of it, because you're focused on serving others everywhere you go. And it comes back to you and them serving you and them asking you how you're feeling. And it kind of goes back into your Beachbody business. Another analogy along those same lines, if you go out to dinner and you have a waiter who really wants to ensure that you have the most fabulous evening on your date, they're going above and beyond because they truly want you to have a magical experience. Versus the waiter who's coming around and he is doing all the things to make you have a magical experience, but you know, he doesn't really care. He's just doing it to get the tip. Don't be that coach. Don't just be doing it because you want them to sign up with something. Don't just be doing it because you want them to buy something from you. Be doing it because you authentically really want these people to have the life that you have, to experience the joy and happiness that you've experienced with Beachbody. And if you're currently not experiencing joy and happiness in your business or in life, we got to figure out how to make changes so that can happen. We got to figure out what it is that's going on, what patterns you might need to break up so that you can experience that joy and happiness once again. It is said with science that people are overwhelmed, not because they have too much on their plate. People are overwhelmed because they are not doing enough of the things that bring them joy. Think on that. It's not because you have too much on your plate. It's because you're not doing things that bring you joy. Because we get in this focus of we have to do da 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 da, and we leave it to the end of the day to take care of ourselves, and then we don't have time. So I'm going to challenge you to do 4 micro goals at minimum every single day, because these are going to be life-changing. Number 1, you've got to put it in the calendar what you're going to do for fun that day. Now, if you're new to scheduling time for fun and you only have 20 minutes and you really need an hour, you don't have an hour, you take the 20 minutes and you do whatever you can do in that 20 minutes. If it's meeting up with your friend for coffee and you don't do that very often because you spend 3 hours chatting, well, yeah, because you don't do it very often. Set the expectation with your friend. I want to meet up for coffee. I only have 20 minutes. Can we meet up today? I really want to hang out with you. Then they know up front, you only got 20 minutes, you spend the 20 minutes, and then you can go on your merry way, but it's going to fill you up. Okay. Write it down on your calendar. The one thing you're going to do fun every single day so that you can start incorporating things that you love. If you don't know what brings you joy and happiness, look at the hobbies that you used to do, schedule in time to try doing that again and see if that's what brings you happiness, and keep trying things until you find the things that really bring you joy and happiness. Number 2, what are you going to do for your mental health? Are you going to meditate for 10 minutes? Are you going to read in your book for 10 minutes? Are you going to go sit in the sun for 10 minutes? Are you going to take a quick walk around the block for 10 minutes? Again, these are micro goals. I don't want them to take very much time. So 5 to 10 minutes, what are you going to do for your mental health? Put it on the calendar so you can check it off and feel accomplished that you got it done. What is one thing that you can do for your business? One thing that you can get done in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, again, micro things so that you can ensure, write it on your calendar, you can check it off and get it done. And then the 4th thing, what is something that you can do to help your team? If you don't have a team, what is something that you can start doing so that you can create a team, so that you can attract people to come to your team? So if you have those 4 micro goals, again, they're not taking very much time. If they're, 5 to 10 minutes each, except for the fun one, that's going to take a little longer. But even if you only have 10 minutes of fun, I promise you 10 minutes of fun is better than 0 minutes of fun. And if you incorporate these on a daily basis, pretty soon, the overwhelmness is going to go away, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be able to stay focused, and you're going to get a lot of work done in a shorter amount of time, because you're focused, because you want to get back to living and doing the things that are fun. Does that make sense? The other thing I want to mention to you is if you desire new outcomes in life, you have to break up old patterns. Now, sometimes you don't even really know what those old patterns are, but most of the time you know exactly what they are. And they're in our little heads, and they're these reels that play over and over and over and over and over again, nonstop. Something that's really cool about our brains is that we can change that. Our brains are wired to take all the information they've ever received or witnessed or experienced, and they try to mash it all together and make sense of it. And they don't do a very good job, because they take them all out of context and they try to make sense of different pieces. And then they tell you that this is truth. And 99.9% of the time, it's a lie. And we believe it, though. We were like, well, I have this thought, and so it must be true. No, you have this thought because your brain's trying to make sense of it. So whenever you get this reel stuck in your head, and you guys know what I'm talking about, y'all have one. They might be the same or they might be different. You have to disrupt it. And the quickest way to disrupt it is when that thought starts. It might take you a few times of recognizing it, and you might have repeated it a few times before you're like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. Get out a piece of paper, write it all down as fast as you can. Just get it out. And then be like, okay, I'm going to go back. And then you can look at it again and say, okay, this is false, and replace it with the exact opposite, or with the truth. If it's like, I'm not good enough right now, well, you can come up with a lot of things that you're good at, and you can say, I'm a phenomenal mom, or I'm awesome with leading my group because people are getting results and they're showing up. Or I'm awesome because I'm showing up to take care of myself for the first time in years. I'm showing up for the first time in months. I'm showing up today because I didn't do it for the last 2 months, and I'm taking care of myself. So combating all those negative reels that are in your head, so that you can change old patterns, so you can get the desired outcome. How many of you are familiar with Ed Milet, the author? He has a book called The Power of One More. And there's a lot of information in there, and it's super phenomenal. But the one thing that really sticks out to me, and it's pretty close to the very beginning, is, you see people who achieve success, and they keep achieving success, and they just keep achieving success. And you see people who achieve success, and they're doing really well, and then all of a sudden they're right back where they were, and their success like diminished, right? And it's like, well, what happened? Like, why does some person keep achieving success and the other people fail at staying successful? And he said it's because your internal thermostat, wherever it is set, is where you always fall back to. So if you are stuck at, say, 75 degrees, and then you achieve success, which is 100 degrees, and you have this awesome success, and you don't raise your internal thermostat of belief that you are at 100 degrees, that you are successful, you will fall back to your internal system of where you believe you are. So think about that for a second. Like, I find myself doing that often. I'm like, I'm just a normal person. I'm not anything special. And then I'm like, wait, I'm freaking awesome. And I am special because of X, Y, and Z, right? But we discount ourselves all of the time. And I think it starts with our goal setting practices, where we set a goal and we think the point of the goal is to hit the goal. Really, the point of the goal is for us to stretch and grow and step into the best versions of ourselves on our way to hitting that goal. And then we get to that goal, and then we say, oh, I hit it, but I didn't do this, and I sucked at that, and I didn't do this, and I could have done that. And so what do? Our brains are like, you suck. You didn't really even hit that goal, even though you did, right? So changing the mindset that the goal, the point isn't to just hit the goal. The point is for you to stretch and grow into the person that you're trying to become on your way there. And so when setting your goals, I need you to do 4 things. Number 1, set the goal. What goals are you looking to achieve in the next month? What goal in 3 months? What goal in 6 months? What goal in a year? You can even go out to 3 and 5 years if you want, but I really want you to focus on this coming year. Okay. And then for each goal that you set, you need to come up with 3 action items that you need to be doing in order for you to achieve that goal. What are the daily things that you need to be doing or weekly things that you need to be doing so that you can get to that goal? You write those down at the time that you set your goal. And then how are you going to measure that you met your goal? One of them could be, I want to be a better leader. Well, how are you going to know if you're a better leader? So you need to just write down what it is that's going to tell you that you are a better leader, that you have improved as a leader. You have to decide what that's going to look like so you can measure whether you met your goal or not. And then the last one that's most important that we always forget about is how are you going to celebrate at the end of meeting your goal? What does the end celebration look like for you once you hit your goal? Setting it aside so you know what you're going to do when you hit the goal right out of the gate is going to be fuel to the fire because you know you're going to get to celebrate all your awesome hard work, and it's going to help you do those action items every single day to get you to your goal. Does that make sense? And then showing up with all the passion and love that you have for life. If you're not there, you've got to figure out what that is, and only you can figure it out. And it's going to go back to maybe thinking about, why did you start Beachbody? Why did you sign up? Why are you still here? What is it you want to get out of this business? If you're looking for income and you're looking to serve people and you're looking to rank advance, good news, you can do all 3 of those at the same time. But I'm going to tell you this, if you only focus on rank advancing, it's going to be really hard to get there. Have the goal of rank advancing, and go back to thinking the man who enjoys the journey is going to go farther than the man who enjoys the destination. So have that goal, but then go back and figure out what it is that you need to be doing that's going to get you to that goal. It's going to be showing up to serve people. It's going to be showing up to help people and providing them the opportunity to become their best selves, providing them the opportunity to grow their own business and team, provide them the opportunity. Maybe they don't want to grow a team, but they want to earn income. Can they do that with Beachbody? They can. If they're signing up customers, they most certainly can. They can get those people results. And eventually they're going to, some of them might be coaches, some of them might not, but there's always opportunities for the things that you want in life. If you focus on the journey, it's kind of like, I want to hit Success Club 10 this month, and I'm going to focus on hitting Success Club 10. It's really difficult to do because you're focused on the outcome instead of what you need to do to get there. I'm going to hit Success Club 10. Now I'm going to focus on showing up for myself. I'm going to focus on finding people to help. I'm going to focus on authentically listening to them, figuring out what their problems are. And that is going to give me a byproduct of hitting Success Club 10 this month. Does that make sense? So your mission statement needs to be very clear. I help, and then a specific type of person. Who is it that you're looking to help? Who is your niche? Who is it that you're helping? A specific type of person. So I help a specific type of person to overcome a specific type of problem. What is it that you're helping them overcome? And then so they can XYZ, what is the tangible outcome? So I help a specific type of person to overcome a specific type of problem so they can then a tangible outcome. That is who you need to be talking to. Those are the people that you need to be searching for. Does that make sense? And for those of you here who are trying to build a team, I don't know if you heard Julie Boris, but she said that your team will do what you feel. So if you are feeling like, I have to get up and work, your team is going to do the exact same thing. If you are showing up with excitement and enthusiasm as best you can, and if you're not there, figuring out how you can get there before you start work, your team's going to follow your lead. your team's going to do exactly what it is that you're doing. It's kind of like when you're a mom, you set the whole tone of the house, right? And you're like, dang it, I just want to be mad right now. Can nobody else be mad? Because I just need to be mad and y'all can be happy, right? But no, we're never like, everybody takes the tone of the mom in the house. It's so annoying. So it's the same way with your team. Unfortunately, you're the leader and they're going to take on exactly what it is you're coming across as, and the people that you're talking to on social media and how you're portraying, that's exactly what you're going to get back. So whatever you're talking about, whatever you're sharing about, that is what you're going to attract. And that is what's going to come to you, whether it's, you know, connecting with people with a certain problem. That's great. Don't stay there for very long. Show how you overcame it. Ask for how they overcame it so you can connect on what people did so you don't stay stuck there, because staying stuck on a problem just cements people into being comfortable and saying, I can't make the change. We just talked about how horrible my life is right now and I don't have time for this. So they're going to stay there. So connect on a problem if you need to, and then move past with talking about how we can overcome this and how they can step into their best selves, if that makes sense. How are we on time?
I think we're good. This has been, Jennifer, you are awesome. I wanted to add, when you said like, be a real listener, like, don't just be like, how are you? They say fine. And you're like, good. And then you keep going or on with your day or whatever. When I was working at the gym, that's a constant thing, right? When you're working there, I think people expect you to be friendly and to say hi as you're passing through the halls or whatever. And there was a karate teacher that used to teach there, and we were passing it and he's like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. Just, that's what I always say. And he grabbed my arm and he looked me in the eye and he's like, no, really, how are you doing? And I was like, this was like 12 years ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never had anybody ask me that. Like, he really wanted to know. And I was like, man, like, it caught me off guard. So I really feel like that has a lot of power rather than just like breezing over people's feelings.
It really does. It really does. I don't even have a business to run, and it's been a practice that I've done for forever. And I have coaches who are now having massive amounts of success in connecting with people who they see on a regular basis that they didn't even think about as being in their warm market. They didn't even think about as people who might be interested, because they didn't give them the time of day, because they were just going about their day and saying hi and being the nice girl instead of the kind person. And think about it, in any kind of business models work because of the service and relationships that are built. People don't care what you're selling. They care how they are being treated by you and how you're helping them. 100%. That's what it is. They literally just care how you make them feel, how you're showing up, how caring, and how you're there to provide them with service, whether they sign up with you or purchase from you. They don't care. They just want you. They want to be understood, and they want to connect with you on a basis. And now more than ever, people want that. Now more than ever. I think that's everything that I had for you guys today. I honestly think that right now is a most phenomenal time. And people are going to hide behind excuses, and people are going to hide behind victimhood. And so don't come at this from a scarcity mindset. Come at this with all the confidence in the world that you have something to offer that's going to benefit those who are ready. And you can tell with those that you can just nudge a little bit more with those open-ended questions, with asking more. They're going to come a long way, but don't get stuck in trying to like force or show somebody why they need to sign up with you. Getting into that power struggle. You guys probably have been there, and you're like, oh, I just need this person, and they said they're going to do it, and now they're backing off, and it's like, and so you're like doing all these tactics, right? And it's like, hey, just take a step back and put yourself in their shoes and be like, hey, I understand that right now money is super tight, and I know it's December, but you're important too. don't discount the importance of you. Don't discount that, hey, maybe this can be your gift for Christmas. I have a 20% or, a $20 coupon that's valid this month that I can give to you. We can get you started before the year ends. And then you can start with Sure Thing on January 2nd or the 9th or the 16th, whatever it is, which day works for you, right? And just not being afraid to ask people to join you and not making it a big thing. You're just like, hey, I'm doing this thing, come and join you. Take out the complicatedness of it and simplify, and act like they're your best friend and you just want them to come along and have fun with you. Good incentives for getting more people, especially during this month, is, hey, if you bring 2 friends with you, you have an opportunity to earn a gift from me, whether it's a tank top or whether it's a $10 Starbucks card, $10 Target card, or they can get it put into a drawing to earn something else, or they can get a box of Beach Bars. You have to spend money in order to make money sometimes. And a lot of times the incentive that you give someone for signing up, in addition to getting you and all the awesome things that come with the Total Solution Pack, think about it when you go to the store and they incentivize you with, well, you spend $50. If you spend 10 more, you're going to get this free gift. What are you going to do? You're going to spend $10 to get a $40 gift, right? And so if you have people, I have a lot of people running contests this month, or not contests, the incentive of, sign up with me. What would it look like if you brought your 2 friends? I would sure love to have that income. But most importantly, what would it look like if you signed up as a coach and your 2 friends came under you? And then for a little bit of work, meaning every Tuesday, you're going to show up in my group and you're going to provide the thought tip of the day. And then you're going to have to just, make sure you're a little more commenting in the group, but then you can collect the money from your 2 friends. What would it look like if you made that extra $100? Then you're going to get a new coach who is going to hit SC for the first time, or hit SC1, which is going to give you a point if you're looking for points for rank advancing. But most importantly, you're going to get income in the form of commissions, or bonuses right off the bat for signing up a coach, and then volume for people underneath your personally sponsored coaches. All that's going to roll up to you for team volume. And then if they stay on that, right? If they are just customers, great. You're going to get those commissions every single month that they stay on that product. And so staying in touch with them, making sure they're using it, making sure you're asking how it's working, what are they looking to achieve, sending them samples of something as a thank you for signing up. Those go a long way, because they feel like, oh, not only is she here to help me, but she really is happy that I'm here and she sent me something free, whether it's a sample of Energize and Recover, if they bought Shakeology, just simple things go a long way for people. Again, it's that customer service piece. People remember the customer service. You can all think of the customer service that excelled and it makes you want to go back, versus the customer service that sucked and you're like, I'm out, never going there again. So you guys can do this. This is a month for teaching people to put themselves first, especially moms, wives, women. We've got to be shown that we need to put ourselves first and that we can, and we do have the time to do it. You guys can do this. And I'm so excited for you. And I cannot thank you guys enough for being there to help people. Right now, people are struggling more than ever. And I feel like it's really easy to just look inward and stay stuck because it's hard to reach out. And so that's what I mean. Asking those authentic questions. How are you? Really, I want to know. Really is like somebody, I can talk to somebody. People don't have people to talk to. And it's easy to just keep to yourselves. So you guys have the opportunity to do that and you're doing it. And we at corporate cannot thank you enough for being in the trenches to change the world and making it a better place.
Awesome. I love it. Jennifer, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I a whole bunch of notes. So I'm like, sweet, I'm going to add these to my stories today. So gave me something to post about, which is nice. But you have many words of wisdom and I love that. And I feel like the more simple we make it, the more fun it is. And the more authentic we are to ourselves by asking just those simple questions that are a little different than just the average coach that's like, hey, let's get you signed up right now. Like, let's really find out like what's going on. Yeah.
Taking the transaction out of it, just showing up. the transactions happen when it's like the opposite happens when you stop focusing on the sell.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Okay. In the chat, what was the book you referenced again?
It is The Power of One More by Ed Milet. It's I'll write it in the chat.
Milet. Okay.
And his Audible book is awesome. Like his voice and inflection and the way he reads it is he does such a good job. Sometimes I don't like to listen to Audible books, but he's one that was recommended to me to listen to it on Audible. And I was like, oh, I can see why. It makes way more sense when somebody's reading it to you, their own words. So do you guys have any questions for me?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Get a picture real quick. If everybody
Yeah.
wants to camera real quick, we'll take a picture.